What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Classroom Confessions. My name is Orlando Baxter, former teacher turned stand-up comedian, and now grade giver on Anonymous Confessions. Here's how the show works. Every week, I'm going to select a group of confessions based on a specific theme. Then I'm going to read them, react to them, and then grade them. Not the spelling or the grammar. I'm going to grade the behavior. And then I'm going to ask you to help me choose which one should be Confession of the Week. This week's theme is kicked out of a class. So if you've ever been kicked out of a class or have been the one that had to kick somebody out of class, this is the one for you. Let's get right into it. The first confession comes all the way from Houston, Texas, former high school student. He says, "Hey, Orlando, I thought I was being funny." Why do they always think they're funny? "We had a sub in English and I kept throwing in random quotes from the movie Rocky under my breath while she tried to get through the lesson." Really? It was my dad's favorite movie. He had just passed, so maybe I was just processing something. My bad. Or maybe I was just being a little jerk. Anyway, she asked me to stop a couple times, but I didn't. Of course she didn't. Next thing I know, she's gone. Just walked out mid-class. Another teacher came in and told her she was in the office crying. Damn. I got in-school suspension for 2 days. A little excessive. At the time, I genuinely didn't think I'd done anything that bad. Looking back, yeah, I made a grown woman walk off the job. That's wild. What grade do I get for that? If I'm going to be honest with you, I have to give you a grade on your behavior. I would give you a C. Here's why I would give you a C. I do think you were going through something with your father passing. That's why you're giving all those movie quotes. But I also think that the substitute teacher was going through something, because usually substitute teachers have a lot thicker skin than what she displayed, unless, of course, her name was Adrian. Then I kind of get it. But if I have to give you a grade, I'm going to give you a C. What grade would you give this individual? Confession number 2 comes all the way from San Antonio, Texas. So we staying in Texas. Former student says, "Hey, Orlando, I was one of 4 kids making animal noises during math." Of course you were. "But of course, I was the one who got caught." Serves you right. "Because I committed to the bit and hit them with a loud ass goat scream." I don't even know what a goat sounds like if it screams. Do you guys know? Like full, ah! Echoing through the room. Everyone lost it, including the teacher, but not in a good way. She pointed to the door and said, "If you're going to act like a goat, go graze in the hallway." Burn. Damn, this teacher was pretty good. Respect. I got written up and missed the whole quiz review. I thought it was hilarious at the time. Now I think, damn, why was I doing barnyard improv in Algebra 1? I have no idea. What grade does that earn me? If I had to give you a grade, I'm going to give you a C, and here's why. Yes, you were disruptive, but you were one of 4 kids being disruptive. You was the only one that got caught, but I love the fact that you did not get upset that you were the only one that got caught. Usually, kids hate that. They're always like, "Oh my God, am I the only one in trouble? I didn't do it. It wasn't just me." But you didn't do that. I respect that. So I'm going to give you a C. What grade would you give them? Third confession comes from Seattle, Washington, former high school student. "Yo, Orlando, we used to do these fun little rap battles at the end of class when we had extra time." That's a pretty nice teacher. "Our teacher was cool with it until I got carried away." Of course, you fucked it up. I already knew it. "I said something about her toes looked like a pack of hot dogs." That's mad disrespect. Why would you say your teacher's toes look like a pack of hot dogs? You could have said something nicer, like Vienna sausages. Instant laughter. "She turned red and kicked me out so fast. I remember walking out and thinking, that was fire." It wasn't. Now I'm like, bro, that was so out of pocket. It was. "She shut down rap battles forever after that." Expected. "Did I ruin a good thing, or was I just too raw for the classroom?" You did ruin a good thing. You weren't raw, you were rude. What's my grade? Very simple. D for dumb. Your teacher allowed you to do this fun thing at the end of class that you enjoyed and everybody in the class enjoyed, and you fucked it up because you were talking about her toes? Come on now. That's so stupid. And yes, she was a little sensitive about her toes, but who wouldn't be? You're mad disrespectful. Common sense should have told you never bite the hand that feeds you, or in this case, never bite the foot that feeds you. My question to you is, what grade would you have given him? Confession number 4 comes all the way from Chicago, Illinois, former middle school teacher. "Hey, Orlando, there was this one student I just didn't vibe with. Always testing me. You know the type." I do know the type. "One day a pencil got chucked across the room and I didn't even hesitate, just pointed at him and said, 'Out.' I've done that before. It feels good." He laughed the loudest, so I assumed it was him. Turns out another kid came clean after class. Ooh, that's tough. "I never said sorry. I still think about that." You should. "I judged that kid based on a vibe, not facts." That's never good. At the time, I told myself I was maintaining order. What are you, a sergeant? Now I realize I kicked a kid out just for being annoying. I handled that all wrong. You did. Grade me. If I had to give you a grade, sir, very simple. That is a D for being dumb. You knew something was wrong and you had a chance to correct it by apologizing. You didn't. Therefore, I had to give you a D. It's just dumb. What grade would you have given this teacher? Confession number 5 comes all the way from Miami, Florida. Current high school teacher. Yo, Orlando, first period on a Monday, I spilled coffee all over my desk and a stack of ungraded tests. That sucks. I reflexively dropped an F-bomb in front of 28 ninth graders. Damn, that's embarrassing. But I've done that before. Not pretty. That's like one of those Southwest want to get away commercials. I froze, then said, that was unprofessional. I'm kicking myself out. Interesting. I stepped into the hallway, peeked through the window to make sure they were still working. That's smart. Then walked back in at the end of class like nothing happened. That's a little crazy. Looking back, I'm proud I held myself accountable, but also, did I just give myself a detention? Yes. What kind of teacher move was that? Be real. What grade do I get? I'm going to give you a B because that was a bold ass move. Yes, you made a big mistake by dropping an F-bomb in front of your students, but you also taught a big lesson by holding yourself accountable in front of your class. Yes, the kids will never look at you as a saint after you drop that F-bomb, but they also will never look at you as a hypocrite. And I appreciate that. And that's why I give it a B. That's my grade. What grade would you give him? Last confession comes all the way from Las Vegas. It's an assistant principal. He goes, Orlando, I had to cover a class last minute. 5 minutes in, I hear whispers and giggles. He smells like doodle. Anytime a teacher hears he smells like doodle, it is a problem. You never want to be known as the doo-doo man. You don't. Or the doo-doo woman. It doesn't matter. That's the problem. I thought I was being disrespected, so I kicked out the 2 loudest kids, told them I had enough. That's a good move. Only later did I find out dog poop on my shoe. I had tracked it in from outside. That was a mistake. Next day, I apologized. They accepted it, but I know I'll forever be known as Mr. Poop Shoe in their memories. That's true. You will always be Mr. Poop Shoe to those individuals in that classroom. In the moment, I thought I was maintaining respect. Now I just feel like the punchline. What's my grade, man? If I had to give you a grade, I'm going to give you an A minus because I do think you had a natural reaction. You thought the kids were being disrespectful, but you were wrong. You did smell like doo-doo, but I'm going to give you an A because you apologized the very next day. And I can respect that. So my grade is an A minus. What grade would you guys give this assistant principal? So that's a wrap for this week's episode of Classroom Confessions. Please make sure you leave your favorite confession in the comments so we can determine which one wins confession of the week. If you have your own confession that you'd like to submit to the show, you can submit it at orlandobaxter.com. You can either write it in or you can leave a voice message. I read and listen to them all. Who knows? Your confession could end up on the show. Next week's episode's theme is School Crush Fails. So if you have a confession where you had a school crush that did not go well, or you have a story, please submit it to orlandobaxter.com. And last but not least, thank you for hanging out with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it on your podcast. I hope you all have an amazing weekend, and I can't wait to see you next week here on Classroom Confessions. Love y'all. Peace.